Good evening, traders. This is a DAX recap video for February the 5th, for Tuesday, and this in front of us is the updated chart with zones that was posted before the open. So we had been inside this smaller range for like 2 days. With morning notes I posted this smaller picture here of DAX daily chart for us to observe this movement here, which is bull flagging, like a bull flag looking movement. DAX made this push above this resistance zone here, then made a back test of the daily 50, and then we have spent some days inside the range, and it closed for the fourth consecutive day within 10 points. That is DAX signaling you that it is is preparing for the bigger move, that the bigger move is brewing behind. When you have consecutive days with more or less the same closing and smaller range, that only means that from that contraction expansion is going to be next. And since DAX is lagging behind, there could be attempt to break above this smaller range, and that is exactly happened today. And we had today a move above the range. So this here was our pre-market session, and as you can see, very contracted, very small range in the pre-market session, only like 30 points. It was a situation very similar to the previous break, when the market break this zone, which was for today and for many days before our main support zone. It was pretty much the same. Market was signaling to us that it's making attempts to break above, and then the time period between those attempts is shrinking, and then they spent entire pre-market session at the top of the range, and exactly the same happened today. So after the open, market immediately tested previous cash close, and pre-market low was basically here at the 1 or 2 point difference. I will just remove now pre-market low so that we can observe that previous cash close is here, and it was tested right at the open, and then a move started higher. So when you have a previous cash close like this, it is away from the zones, in the middle of something without no additional references, it is hard to use that as an entry point. But today we had previous pre-market low there also, so you could attempt a breakout here if you were prepared for that. You could attempt a long trade from here expecting a breakout, but school book trade would be really to see if the breakout is going to happen, and to monitor the price and jump in this first move, or this when it made a pullback. Now you will never know is it going to be a false attempt or not, but market was prone to do that because range was too small, and range was tested. Range started from here, from these stops here. It was tested on Friday here, on Monday here, and today price was staying here, balancing near the Friday high zone. So everything was pointing to the fact that breakout is likely to happen, that it is great odds are higher for it to happen than not. And when you observe this move, you can enter your long trade here on the pullback and targeting this next zone and the zone above. So I said in the morning notes that the market could easily test this high zone if the break is going to happen, and then there sellers can react on the first test and to go to the main resistance zone where seller's reaction is likely. And sellers did react here, but that reaction was really nothing much. So from here, this was really the trade of the day, to catch this long, either by going along here at the previous cash close plus pre-market low, or at this pullback targets would be like here for the quicker target, you know, like just 50-55 points to the zone, or to be more patient and wait to the other zone. So this was the first trading opportunity. And a second opportunity would be to try to attempt short here, and whenever you have a good momentum into the zone, you should try that at the back of the zone. And this trade here was a break-even trade, because market was testing this back end of the zone and made just a small pullback, but enough time for you to close the trade on break-even. Because if you don't have a reaction soon from this kind of zones, then it could go higher. And from these zones that are main support or resistance zones, those are the zones that you could be more patient and give market more time for it to provide you something. And from this zone, if you have attempted a short from this zone, again nothing much happened here, only like 15 points. And I draw these lines to me just to emphasize this one smaller range, and that market really should go below this line, and to really just to test this lower zone for the trade to work for like 30-40 points, or maybe even lower. Nothing of that really happened, and if you were stubborn about it, you would lose on this trade. But after all of this happens, so it is one test, it is a second test with a higher high, and you are still here holding. Now you could play some defense and move your stop closer to the zone, just above this high, because if it's going to work, it had plenty of time to work, but it didn't. So you could close, of course, at the break even for a few point win, for a few point loss, but the point is the zone didn't work this time for a short. Because if you don't have at least 30-40 points out of the main resistance zones, that it is don't working for today. And after that, market made a move above, and this here could be additional long opportunity for you. After the market broke this main resistance zone and made a pullback to it, to this previous high here, you could even attempt a smaller trade from here. But know that if you are trading and if you are entering a position at 4 p.m., so it is only like an hour and a half until the regular trading hour is over, that would mean really to go from here for the smaller target, because market has already made from here to this top like 150 points. So the opportunity potential is already almost filled by this move, by filling this gap. So now the market needs to expand the range to get to this minor zone above, or to this better zone. So from here, if you're attempting a short, a long for here, from here just take like 30-40 points and close and finish for the day. So that was the opportunities for today trading, and I wish just for you to pay attention. Today I have answered some questions about zones, about how I look at zones and trade them. It's this kind of universal questions, like where to enter and especially when to enter zones. And I had posted video on YouTube, and you can also find it here on my site on the blog section. There is this is the video and a piece of text here, when and where to enter a trade, so you could watch that also. And looking on the bigger time frames, Now it is obvious bullish looking picture on DAX. Also, as said in that video, this is the usual thing for market to do when it is going to the upside, like one trend day, then a lot of consolidation, lots of chopping, another one trend day, again chopping, and then they will make a breakout. And on the daily chart it looks now like this, and we can compare it with this. This was the signaling here, this kind of movement, bull flag like movement, and already market made a break, retested the broken resistance, then now acts as support, and now they are just ranging here and waiting for the input, waiting, consolidating and preparing next move. And that next move was to the upside, and it was a bigger odds from here for them to continue to the upside. So this is it for this edition of DAX recap video, and for tomorrow you will get another updated chart with zones and morning notes. I wish you a good day and good trading.